Good afternoon and welcome to the Terrace Lodge Redevelopment Steering Committee meeting. It is Tuesday, August the 1st, 1 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. We have first up is the approval of the agenda.
Resolved that the agenda for August 1st, 2023 meeting of the Terrace Lodge Redevelopment Committee be approved as presented.
Do we have a mover and seconder? Councillor Noble and Councillor Cookett, all in favor? And that is carried. Section 3, adoption of the minutes. And I assume everyone's had opportunity to peruse them.
Resolved that the minutes of the meeting held on May 8th, 2023 be adopted.
Mover and seconder. Councillor Noble and Councillor Widner, all in favor? That's carried. I would remind the committee of any disclosures of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none noted. We have no delegations, which moves us into section 6, reports, briefings. 6.1, Director of Homes and Senior Services, the redevelopment project update.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, through you to committee members. So I just wanted to give a verbal update of our project status. As you're aware, phase 1 is now complete and we had occupancy at the end of May and the Ministry of Long-Term Care was on site to do their official welcoming to the addition and announcement on July 4th. So phase 2 is now well underway. It is expected to be a 9 to 12 month time frame and it involves the north resident home areas as well as some core areas of the building, in particular the kitchen renovations. Last week it was exciting. We did have an excavator lifted into the center courtyard to begin the construction on the courtyard area. Demolition on the north RHA level 1 is complete and level 2 demolition has started and is expected to be complete by the end of this week. The electricians have been on site pulling cable on level 1 and as well as installation of sprinkler piping work is being conducted. And underground plumbing continues and our HVAC system rough-in work is also started on level 1. Our kitchen renovations are well underway and there are 3 phases to that kitchen work. And we are currently on target for project completion, December of 2024. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about project progress.
Well, thank you for the report, Michelle. Does anyone have any questions? Well, I do. I'm kind of curious. While your kitchen renovations are underway, what provisions are being made for alternative services?
Great question. So it's a 3-phase project in the kitchen. So we have made some additions into the current dining room since residents are now dining on the addition in this phase. So 50 less residents are coming to the dining room. So we extended the servery and kitchen into the main dining room while different sections of the main kitchen are being renovated and redeveloped.
Okay, thank you for that. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Resolved that the verbal redevelopment project update report from the Director of Homes and Senior Services be received.
Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Cookett will move and Councillor Widner will second. All in favor? That is carried. 6.2, Director of Financial Services Treasurer, Terrace Lodge Redevelopment Construction Cost Update.
Through Mr. Warden to the committee. At this time, staff are bringing forward the information related to budget so that any of the components that we're going to talk about today, you'll have some information from which to draw some knowledge as far as where we stand with the budget. So as we move forward into phase 2, some of the items that have been identified for consideration may have a monetary component associated with them. We've provided below a chart outlining the construction costs to July 7th, 2023, and consulting services, technology, furniture and fixtures, miscellaneous, and subsequent HST that might be applied to each of these areas. So far, the budget of 35.6 million has been used to the amount of 24.1 million with 11.5 million remaining. The provincial funding that we currently have committed to us is 250,000, which was one-time funding that we received quite a while ago. 30,000 for one-time transition funding. Upon completion, we have a development funding of 2.6 million. And we are expecting a 25-year construction funding of 19 million with estimated carrying costs of 5.6 million. So the county share would be approximately $18 million. And that brings us up to our $35.6 million. At the last construction project progress report from D Grant, they indicated that they were 69% complete within the project. And of that, a contingency was originally set aside of $1.5 million. To date, there's been 162 change orders on that money, with either open or completed amounts totaling $799,000. This leaves approximately $737,000 or 47.9% left in the budgeted contingency for the remaining two phases. To date, $1 million has been borrowed from Infrastructure Ontario to secure our position on our intent to complete the final borrowing of another 24 million in either 24 or 25. The term of these borrowings are set to be 25 years, which will match the funding envelope that we expect to receive from the province at this time. The finalization of the infrastructure loan is date dependent and will be relevant to when the final construction is completed. So at this time, we don't have a secure interest rate. And so we're hoping that some of the rates will go down between now and the time that we take out the loan. We have set aside again another $2 million on top of the 25 million in case we need that. That's just a contingency that we have within that envelope of borrowing that we don't anticipate we'll need, but certainly it is available if we do need it. As council is aware, we still continue to lobby the provincial government for some more construction funding subsidy to mitigate the effects of this debt over the next 25 years. And if there's any further questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you for that report, Jen. Does anyone have any questions for Jen at this time? Seeing none?
Resolved that the report titled Terrace Lodge Redevelopment Construction Cost Update from the Director of Finance Services Treasurer dated July 27th, 2023 be received and filed.
Do we have a mover and seconder? Councillor Noble will move. Councillor Crooked will second. All in favor? That is carried. 6.3, the manager of corporate facilities, Terrace Lodge redevelopment project, existing building north and south resident home areas, roof insulation. Ryan?
Through you, Mr. Warden, to the community members, my apologies. The report before you outlines the during the second phase demolition of the north wing, it was found that they originally in the initial building had R20 6 inches of insulation laid right on the acoustic ceiling tiles, and that's how they insulated the building. During the demolition, they found that they had a wet sprinkler installed back in 2013 into the slope ceiling area. So the potential there, we're at risk of the wet sprinkler pipes freezing. So during the recommendation from D Grant is that we insulate the sloped pitch ceiling with a spray applied insulation. They provided us with 3 different costings for insulation: R30, R50, and R60. R30 is the minimal, which will meet the building official's recommendation, and which also has a 4-week impact of the timeline, 2 weeks per phase, north and south wings. And if we go with the staff recommendation is the R30, and it also has a cost of $160,005.10 plus HST. That's all I have. Do you have any? I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you for that, Ryan. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Councillor Widner.
Yeah, thank you, Warden. Through to Ryan. how are you gonna handle the ventilation if you spray foam the underside of the slope? Are you gonna put in those panels to help it breathe or?
They're applying the spray foam directly to the underside of the roof cavity.
Okay, but what about, no, ventilation won't be part of it then?
No, so the whole attic space will now be a heated area, so there'll be no flow of air. So we won't be utilizing like a mover vent style where we have airflow into the attic.
Okay, thank you.
Not a general contractor, so not knowing any different, what's the advantage of spray foam over just bats?
So because the sprinkler pipes are installed in the attic space as well as the ductwork, we have to have the installation above that area. So we would have to frame up and bulk up the location to install all the installation.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, then.
Resolved that the report entitled Terrace Lodge Redevelopment Project Existing Building North and South Residence Home Area Roof Insulation dated July 27th, 2023 be received and filed. And that the Terrace Lodge Redevelopment Steering Committee provide staff direction regarding the allocation of $160,005.10 plus applicable HST of the existing contingency budget towards the insulating both the existing north and south building residence home areas.
Okay, do we have a mover and seconder for that? Counselor Noble will move. Counselor Cookett will second. All in favor? And that is carried. Which brings us down to closed meeting items.
Thank you. We have a closed meeting update from our, first of all, we have two items on the closed agenda. One is the close minute meetings for May the 8th, 2023.
Right. First, we'll perhaps have the motion to go in.
Reluctantly, I don't have that on my.
I do.
Thank you.
I do. Be it resolved that we now proceed into a closed meeting session in accordance with Municipal Act to discuss following matters under Municipal Act Section 239(2). Closed meeting item number 1. It's a closed meeting minutes from May the 8th, 2023, and closed meeting item number 2, advice regarding development progress. So I guess that's section F, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Do I have a mover and seconder for that? Counselor Widner will move. Counselor Noble will second. All in favor? That's carried. Now we'll go on with the briefing. Okay, welcome back. Motion to rise and report.
Resolve that we do now rise and report.
Okay, mover and seconder, Counselor Widner, seconded by Counselor Cookett. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Closed meeting item number 1.
Resolve that the closed meeting minutes from May 8th, 2023 meeting be adopted.
Mover and seconder, please. Counselor Noble. Counselor Cookett. All in favor? That's carried. Closed meeting item number 2.
Resolve that the confidential report from the Director of Legal Services be received for information.
Mover and seconder, please. Counselor Noble. Counselor Widner will second. All in favor? And that is carried. Date of our next meeting? I would assume to call the chair. Okay. Which brings us to the adjournment motion.
Resolve that we do now adjourn at 1:48 to meet again at a date and time at the call of the chair.
Mover and seconder, please. Counselor Noble and Counselor Cookett, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and thank you very much to the staff for providing useful information. Have a great day.